Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to NSG News TV on YouTube. This is Pulse of the Week with your man, Kofi Asante Mensah. Welcome to the 26th edition, November edition of Pulse of the Week. It's a Wednesday, and it is calm over here in Accra. I'm here from our plush and luxurious studios here in the capital of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you for watching us wherever you are. We are grateful you are with us here on NSG News' Pulse of the Week with your man, Kofi Asante Mensah. This is the program that breaks down all issues for you, for your understanding, and for your consumption. We do comprehensive news analysis and we break the issues down. We unpack it. Today, I have a lot of stories to share with you from Sunday throughout to Monday, Tuesday, and today, Wednesday, 26th of November, 2025. And when I return from this breather, I will share all of them with you. Then I have great men as guests on Zoom for discussion. Mr. Mussa Dankwah, he's up with another survey, and we'll be interrogating him tonight. He is the Executive Director for Global InfoAnalytics and policy. Also, we have our security and social development, and also commentator online, Mr. Irbad, Ibrahim, will be joining us. Our CEO and media personality, Eamn Liquid, who is also the host of Hot Seat, would also be joining us for intellectual discourse. So stay with me. I come back with a bulletin where we update you on news from Ghana. Please, when I return, we'll have more to talk about. Always a pleasure to have you back. Thank you very much. It's your man, Kofi Asante Mensah, here on NSG News TV, live on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, 26th of November, 2025. The countdown is already on for Christmas, and I know you can't wait to celebrate Christmas with us here in Ghana. Every December, come and enjoy Christmas with us here in Ghana. We begin the news update, and our bulletin starts from Parliament. And I have news from the camp of the minority group because the minority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has vowed to challenge the Tamale High Court's decision annulling the 2024 parliamentary election in Pandai constituency, describing the ruling as flawed and affront to democratic legitimacy. Speaking to journalists in Parliament on Wednesday, November 26th, Mr. Afenyo-Markin reassured the Pandai constituents that their member of Parliament, Mr. Matthew Nyendam, remains the sitting MP and a fully active member of both Parliament and the minority caucus of the New Patriotic Party, NPP. The minority leader stated that the party would lawfully resist any attempt to bar Mr. Nyendam from representing his constituents, whether such attempts are subtle or brazen.
The judiciary must know that their actions and inactions to serve the interests of whoever their paymaster is has the tendency of destroying our peaceful republic. We will not mince words. They can conspire to call us one by one for a so-called contempt of courts. We are criticizing their shameful conduct. We are not afraid. We are ready to be in Nsawam for their so-called contempt. The world will see their disgraceful conduct. We will not sit aloof and allow them to undermine the very rule of law that they are supposed to protect. How can a judge who calls himself a judge sit in court and misconduct himself in such a manner and expect the country to be quiet? Now here is where the matter becomes even more extraordinary. This order, an order with massive political, legal, and democratic consequences, was pronounced without the court's full judgments, as I've stated supra. There were no written reasons, no factual findings, no legal analysis, just a naked directive issued into the public domain. And the whole constituency is now being told that there must be a rerun. I am a practicing lawyer of experience at the bar. I understand that courts occasionally deliver rulings with reasons to follow. But such a practice is the exception, not the rule. And it is never acceptable approach when the stakes are this.
All right, so that's up on your marking over there. We are still remaining in Parliament because the minority in Parliament has accused government of heavily inflating the cost of the free sanitary pad project, insisting figures presented by the finance minister raise serious concerns about value for money. Addressing the press on Tuesday, November 25, the Member of Parliament for Old Tafo in the Ashanti region, Vincent Echo Asifwa, questioned why the government had allocated 292 million Ghana cedis for the supply of 6.6 million sanitary pads, a calculation he says does not align with market prices. They are distributed 6.6 million pads. They have repeated the same figure in Appendix 4A of the budget statement, he said.
They have distributed 6.6 million pads. They have repeated the same figure in Appendix 4A of the budget statement. A simple calculation will tell you that 292 million Ghana cedis divided by 6.6 million packs of pad is 44 Ghana cedis, almost 45 Ghana cedis. The big question is, they came to this floor early this year when they were championing the argument that because of effective management of the economy, now a pack of pad is 45 Ghana cedis. In fact, on the social media platform of the Ministry of Finance, Atuforsin himself posted this tweet. He said that a pad is now 15 Ghana cedis, and indeed it has reduced from 25 Ghana cedis. Let us grant them that. According to them, they are saying that a pack of a pad is 15 Ghana cedis. How then do you now allocate 292 Ghana cedis and supply 6.6 million pads? What that means is that you are buying one pad for 44 Ghana cedis. This is what I raised on the floor of Parliament. To buttress the point, this is a friendly media station of the NDC, Wezo TV, where it is rightly quoted that they bought, or if you like, the price of Yas sanitary pad, which was 25 Ghana cedis in January, is now going for 15 Ghana cedis. So I have not said anything out of the blue. It is their own document, it is their own budget statement in 2025 and 2026, which is suggesting to the people of Ghana that one pad is 44 Ghana cedis. Today, if you go to Malata, I know there are ladies here. I do not think that if you are buying a pad, as sought by the Minister of Education when he said that it is a pack, I do not think that when you are buying a pad, they just take a single one and give it to you. No. When we say a pack of a pad is 15 Ghana cedis, it is a pack and not a single one. And so the argument is that the media will have to join us to be able to intervene.
Right, so that's a course for over there, and today brings an end to the budget debate, and there was a little bit of drama in the August House, more because of the Pandai issue. Honorable Matthew Nyindam also wanted to pass on few comments, and the majority won't allow that. And they are describing him as a persona non grata in the August House because he said must be declared vacant. So the Speaker of Parliament has also frozen the decision or the ruling on that very case by the second deputy. So tomorrow he will be in the hot seat to deal with it. So let's still be in Parliament because Honorable Governor Kwame Agboja has indicated that the New Patriotic Party left over 40 billion, I must say billion, Ghana cedis in unpaid road bills. This is how he put it.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to comment on a very realistic and forward-looking budget read on behalf of the President by the Finance Minister. Mr. Speaker, there's an issue that is of a national concern that I want to touch on before I speak about roads. Mr. Speaker, when I became an MP, one day I was there and I was told that the former MP of my constituency was taken ill. I quickly called and I was told that he needed to be airlifted from the whole government hospital to 37. I called Honorable Nitiwu, who was the Minister for Defense at the time. And then within the shortest period, he dispatched a military helicopter who airlifted Honorable Akoli to the Air Force Base and onward to Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying this simply because the military provide services beyond what we think in our country. So when we are discussing providing support for the military, it is not merely to support them to fight wars. The military provide significant civil support services. Mr. Speaker, I listened last week when colleagues sought to critique government decision to retool the Ghana Armed Forces. In their view, the amount of money set aside to provide 4 new helicopters and then some 2 other aircraft for the use of the military and the executive was unnecessary. Mr. Speaker.
All right, so Honorable Governor Kwame Agboja over there indicating that the new Patriotic Party administration, the Nado Dankwah administration, the Estoa administration, left some 40 billion Ghana cedis debt to the road sector. And this debate was basically finalized today, and there will be more tomorrow because the Speaker himself will be in a hot seat as decision will be taken in and around the Kwandai Member of Parliament, as the Tamale High Court has fully given the nod to the Electoral Commission to organize new and fresh election in the Tamale, the Kwandai constituency in 30 days. All right. So let me, first of all, before I continue with the major bulletin I have for you by way of news from the Republic of Ghana, acknowledge the presence of our social security expert, social and policy analyst, Mr. Ibrahim. He has joined us on Zoom. Mr. Ibrahim, just to acknowledge you and continue. Good to have you, sir. Right.
Thank you so much.
You have to mute, then I can hear you. Mr. Ibrahim, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Grateful. I can also hear you. And just within some few minutes, I'll come back to you so we start our analysis. Let's move on to some stories relating to zip line still in Parliament this evening, because a critical segment of Ghana's emergency medical supply chain has begun to collapse, threatening the lives of rural patients across the country. Zip line, the global leader in instant logistics and medical drone delivery, has announced or has commenced the decommissioning of 3 of 8 operational centers, citing a crippling lack of funds from the central government. The partial shutdown was brought to light during a heated debate on the 2026 budget statement in Parliament on Tuesday, November 25, 2025, exposing a severe physical gap in the health sector. And that's how the minority posted.
Speaker, the allocation this year was 20 million, knowing very well that you owe Zipline as of now 175 million. Mr. Speaker, what this means is that, as this letter says, they are shutting down these 3 centers. The Eamn Center supplies the whole of Volta region. It supplies part of Eastern region and the Afran Plains. Mr. Speaker, they are also shutting down with the Western North, Seshi, the minister's own backyard, Seshi. We also distribution center. That means that they are not supplying blood, medicines, vaccines to the whole Western North, part of Western region, part of Central region, Ashanti region, Ahafo, Bono. Mr. Speaker, they are also shutting down, effective today, Table Office, the Kachi Distribution Center. And that means that Kachi, part of Savannah, and also East Afran Plains, effective today, people are going to die needlessly of shortage of. Speaker, the allocation this year was 20 million, knowing very well that you owe Zipline as of now 175 million. Mr. Speaker, what this means is that, as this letter says, they are shutting down these 3 centers. The Eamn Center supplies the whole of Volta region. It supplies part of Eastern region and the Afram Plains. Mr. Speaker, they are also shutting down with the Western North, Seshi, the minister's own backyard, Seshi. We also distribution center. That means that they are not supplying blood, medicines, vaccines to the whole Western North, part of Western region, part of Central region, Ashanti region, Ahafo, Bono. Mr. Speaker, they are also shutting down, effective today, Table Office, the Kachi Distribution Center. And that means that Kachi, part of Savannah, and also East Afram Plains, effective today, people are going to die needlessly of shortage of. Speaker, the allocation this year was 20 million, knowing very well that you owe Zipline as of now 175 million. Mr. Speaker, what this means is that, as this letter says, they are shutting down these 3 centers. The Eamn Center supplies the whole of Volta region. It supplies part of Eastern region and the Afram Plains. Mr. Speaker, they are also shutting down with the Western North, Seshi, the minister's own backyard, Seshi. We also distribution center. That means that they are not supplying blood, medicines, vaccines to the whole Western North, part of Western region, part of Central region, Ashanti region, Ahafo, Bono.
Right, so, and that's the story over there. Let me also welcome one of our regular guests here on Pulse of the Week on NSG News TV, and Mr. Mussa Dankwah, who happens to be the Executive Director for Global InfoAnalytics and Policy, joining us. Mr. Mussa Dankwah, a pleasure to have you this evening. If you can unmute and say hi to us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, and thank you for having me.
Grateful. Thank you. Let me start with you, both gentlemen. I'll begin with Mr. Mussa Dankwah on your latest research. A story on nsgnews.com has it that a survey, a new survey by Global InfoAnalytics former Vice President Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia has established a commanding lead across 14 out of 16 regions of the country in the New Patriotic Party NPP's upcoming presidential election. According to the survey conducted between November 17th and 21st, 2025, Dr. Bawumia is ahead in Ahafo, Ashanti, Bono East, Eastern, Greater Accra, Northeast, Northern, Oti, Savannah, Upper East, Upper West, Western, and Western North regions. The poll shows the contest is closely fought in the Central region, where delegates are almost evenly split, while Kennedy Japan maintains a lead in the Volta region. And the man who conducted this very survey, if I want to continue, there's quite a lengthy one on nsgnews.com, but the man who led this very polls or survey is with us here. It's just a pleasure to have you, Mr. Mussa Dankwah. Let's go into it. I have 79 page, Justice, was it 79? Yeah, 79-page document from your latest poll. We've gone through it one after the other, and viewers will be showing some of these figures to you as Mr. Mussa Dankwah presents his latest survey to us. Mr. Mussa Dankwah, please go ahead. What are the findings, the fresh findings as you found in this latest survey?
Right. Thank you very much for once again, and let me wish you and your listeners and viewers a very good evening. If you look at the polls for the November month, it is not radically different from what we did in October. Indeed, if you look at the numbers, both Bawumia and Kennedy dropped few points compared to last poll. But at the end of the day, the race remained largely unchanged, in the sense that Bawumia is leading with 43% of the vote, and Kennedy is behind with 18%. Now, interestingly, we saw a very dramatic shift in the race in Central region and Volta region, as well as Eastern region. In the Central region, Kennedy came from behind to really almost close the gap to a point where the race is tied in Central region. In the Volta region, Kennedy also made a remarkable gain, and now he's leading in the voter rate. However, when it comes to the Eastern region, what we've seen now is head-to-head, Kennedy and Brana Champon on neck and neck, but Bawumia has taken a lead in the region. So we can see that Bawumia made some gains in the Eastern region, whereas Kennedy made huge gains in Central and voter region. But overall, the net effect was almost the same.
Wow, that's intriguing. Now, let's move into it. What is making Ken lead in voter region?
You know, he won the voter region the last time. Yeah. And voter region has been an anti-MPP area. So if you are an MPP establishment candidate, then you tend to get the backlash from that region. So if you watch in the last election, Kennedy won voter region, and we think he's going to win the voter region again this time around.
But these are people who are card members and, of course, delegates of the Osono Party, the New Patriotic Party, even though they are in the voter region. Why do you think, because it's an anti-MPP region, they would also be targeting somebody like Kennedy Japon to be voting for him?
Look, establishment, which is Bawumia, a de facto one, normally, you know, voter is a very unique place. And you can't completely isolate the people of the region from delegates. So it's the same people who are becoming or who have become MPP delegates. So the sentiment towards the MPP somehow may reside in them. So you can see that they are mostly supporting the insurgent candidate, which is Kennedy Japon. I'm not surprised that that is the case. But in the last election, Bawumia lost voter region.
Mr. Mussa, how many people did you sample these opinions from? What was the methodology?
We sampled 3,500 delegates across all the 16 regions. And it was a telephone call that was placed to delegates randomly. And at the end of the survey, we counted how many constituencies we had a rep from. From the survey, we had spoken to people from 267 constituencies in the country out of 276. Only 9 areas were not covered.
Their age groupings?
The data shows that majority of them, around 47%, are in the age of 35 and 44. And then between 45 and 54, around, I think, 15 or 20%. So the bulk of delegates are in this bracket. Very few ones are young voters.
Okay. How about their educational background?
Right. If you look at the educational background, about 36% of them hold senior high qualification. Another 36 hold junior high qualification. And tertiary is about 19%. And those without formal education is about 9%.
That's quite interesting. There's one question you posed to them, which is, are you optimistic about unity after the campaign? And what was the outcome, sir?
You know, if you look at the question about unity after the campaign, I mean, it is very clear that the party's faithful are very hopeful that the party can unite behind the candidate after the primaries. Now, the number shows about 89% of delegates believe that, yes, the party can rally behind the candidate after the primaries. Only 3% said that, no, there won't be a unity after the primaries. And 8% didn't have an opinion. This clearly shows that if the party wants to unite, they can unite.
Well, don't you think 3% is quite huge?
I don't think so. I think this is a very good margin that the party can deal with.
Okay. There was also data on, or question on, do you agree or disagree that presenting a candidate for the second time will enhance MPP's chances in the 2028 election? Of course, Dr. Bawumia is being presented the second time, and the outcome is indicated clearly. Some 59, if I'm right.
Yes, 59% of delegates believe that, yes, if you present a candidate for the second time, it could enhance your chances of winning the election. Whereas 14% disagree, and about 27% were neutral. Interestingly, not everybody who agrees was voting for Bawumia. The data shows that among those who were, let me look at the data and come back to you on that. Among those who believe that, yes, it will enhance their chances, I mean, among Brian supporters, 32% of them believe that, yes, a candidate brought twice can help. Even though they agree, they didn't vote for Bawumia, they were voting for Brian. Another 30% of Ken supporters believe that, yes, it will help, but they were voting for Ken. Another 20% of Edichum people agree, yet voting for somebody else, which is Edichum. But among those who are backing Bawumia, a whopping 92% agree to this statement.
That's quite intriguing. Mr. Mussa Dankwah, let's move into the little part you mentioned and kept our budget 2026 in focus over there. I'm sure you were referring to this very recent budget as presented by the finance minister quite within last week thereabout.
Correct.
Now, you asked them, are you satisfied or dissatisfied with the way MPP as a party is responding to the 2026 budget? And they said what?
40% of them said they are unsatisfied with the way the party is responding to the budget. 40%. 13% said no, they are not satisfied with the way the party is responding to it. But a whopping 47% said they were neither satisfied or satisfied. So if you look at it, majority of people who are MPP delegates are either not satisfied or neutral about the way the party is responding. Clearly, it shows that people are not enthused overall about the way they are responding to the budget 2026 budget.
I want to go to Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Mussa Dankwah, I'll be coming to you to help me appreciate the 2023 presidential election and do some comparison as you have the data here to the 2026, the upcoming one. Do some few comparison for me, but I'll come back for you to do that for me. Let me pick some opinions from Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Ibrahim, this is the latest polls from your friend, Mr. Mussa Dankwah. He says Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is winning. What are your comments?
I'm always full of praise. At this point, Mr. Mussa Dankwah is more than a friend. He's a brother, and we commend him for all the good work. And then kudos as well, sitting on the current activism and advocacy you're doing for equal rights in senior high schools. May your efforts yield a long-lasting result. I think, the way things are going, usually with political parties when they are in opposition, I want to associate myself with the fact that parties in opposition look fractured, they look irredeemable. We saw before the 2016 election, the suspension of a national chairman of an opposition party and also the general secretary. We saw videos at the party headquarters of the brandishing of a gun. Like you would say, the then opposition party was helplessly irredeemable, and there was no way the party could come together and fight for power. But eventually they came together and they fought and won. And then with the NDC as well, when it was in opposition, we all remember the drama when Dufour was to pull out of the primaries, the purported shenanigans and all that. You would also think that the party in opposition was badly battered and fractured, and it was going to repair. But eventually, they rallied around the flag bearer, His Excellency Dramani Mahama, and the NDC is back to power. It's refreshing. And when observers like us who sit on the fence hear parties in power talk about their colleagues on the other side, when the MPP won in the 2000 election, we heard that the NDC would never come to power. And when the NDC won after the 2008 election, we heard that the NDC would be in opposition. Some even give decades. So you'll be in opposition for 40 years. You'll never come to power until 2052. You know, these things are quite refreshing. But both political parties have over the years shown great resilience in times of adversity. So you don't have to underestimate the ability of an opposition political party in Ghana to coalesce and rally behind a candidate to fight for victory. So I agree with the assertion that has been made by Mr. Mussa Dankwah that the numbers show that if there is a free and fair contest on the 31st of January and a leader emerges, chances are the party will come together and unite for the battle in 2028. So I want to reiterate what I said the other time. If I were in the shoes of these political parties, I wouldn't play with the findings of Mr. Mussa Dankwah. I would read them as I do my dailies because they are so important. They are empirical. They've proven their credibility. The findings of Mr. Mussa Dankwah and his team have proven their credibility over time. And I dare say Mr. Mussa is the most credible pollster we have currently. So they shouldn't take these findings lightly. And then this shouldn't be complacent. That we are seeing people throw jabs at one another, say bad things about each other. Worse things happened in times past, but eventually parties came together, and political parties came together, one in opposition, and they fought for them. Both the NDC and the template to show for that. So I think these findings are very important. But as to the candidacy of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, expert in this area is Mr. Mussa Dankwah. But usually in Ghana, the disenchantment that is expressed when people gather at a base or on social media may not reflect the reality within the political parties. People are so attached to their political parties. Sometimes if they feel like if this candidate is the one who can win power for us, then they can shelve their personal interests in other people and throw their weight behind that candidate. So I see Dr. Brian Echampo emerging would be a credible candidate. Dr. Bawumia would be a credible candidate. Ken would be a credible candidate. Edu Chum and all others that have lined up. So 2028 will be quite interesting, and I believe it will fit the textbook definition of what Ghana's politics has taught us over the past 3 or 4 elections, that when parties are in opposition, they're able to unite and fight for victory.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. Let me come back to you, Mr. Mussa Dankwah, and help me do this comparison. 2 comparisons over here. You have it in your research, and it has to do with the 2023 election, presidential primaries of the New Patriotic Party, and also the upcoming one. And also, I think you did something in October, and also now November. I think there are some few changes over there. If you can take us through, please.
Right. Let me quickly look at the data. If you look at the October polls that we conducted, in October, Bawumia was on 44%. Now on 43%. It's down 1%. Canada Japan was on 19%, now 18%, down 1% roughly. Brother Champo remained static at 5%, no change. Yawo Idichum was 1%, now nearly 0, so drop 1%. And so it's Canada Japan also 1%, now down to 0%. We saw a complete reversal of gains people made over the last period. And those numbers move from those candidates to what we call the undecided. Now, if somebody loses in a race and the number goes to another candidate, that is a good thing. But here, they all lost, and that number went to undecided. So people who are undecided have gone up compared to people who are declaring for a candidate. Now, on the question of looking at the race from 2023 angle, normally to see who is going to win, you can look at that from this data. Mm-hmm. Now, if you are going to win the race, you must do well to maintain your vote. And then also, you must do well to win the vote of others who were competing against you at the time. as well as those who did not vote. Now, if you look at the race in 2023, among those who cast their vote for Bawumia, 4% of Bawumia's voters have shifted from him to Brian Achampo. Another 6% shifted to Kennedy, and 1% to Educhum. So you can see that about 11% of Bawumia supporters have gone to his rivals, 11%. He, however, retained 71% of his vote, but 15% are saying they are undecided. Are they going to come back and vote for him? Only time will tell. And 4% are not disclosing who they will vote for among those who, before then, voted for him. Now, when it comes to Kennedy, he has lost 5% of his 2023 vote to Brian Achampo. He has lost 1% to Yao Educhum and lost 11% to Bawumia. So altogether, he's lost about 17% of his vote to other rivals. Now, if he was to win, he should have been retaining his numbers and not losing much to the opponent. Net effect is that Bawumia has given 6% of his vote to Kennedy, but he has taken 11% from Kennedy. So plus 5% for Bawumia. So Bawumia is leading on the vote of people who are switching. Bawumia is ahead. Now, if you look at those who didn't vote, sometimes if you lose grounds on those who voted last time, then you must get your numbers from those who didn't vote. Among those who didn't vote, 5% are voting for Brian Achampo, 22% are voting for Kennedy, but 34% are voting for Bawumia. So Bawumia is still leading among those who didn't vote. So effectively, he will be in the lead because he has not lost much compared to Kennedy, and is gaining additional votes from the first those who didn't vote.
So this is very obvious. It's so clear. And you have a data on the race in the Akan region, swing region, I think the northern region, Volta region, and if you can just in brief take me through that one. What do you mean by race in the Akan region?
If you look at the Akan regions, Bawumia dropped 3% from the last poll, but Kennedy dropped 6% from the last poll. Educhum lost 1%, Japan lost 2%. But those who say they are undisclosing went up by 5%, and those who say they are undecided went up 7%. Now, when you come to the swing regions, Bawumia again went down 3%, but Kennedy went up 8% in the swing regions. Here we mean Central, Western, and Greater Accra. Brian Achampo went down 1%, Japan went down 1%, and those who are not disclosing went down 4%. So you could see that people in the swing regions moved towards Kennedy, and this happened largely in the central region. And then when you come to the northern region, Bawumia is up 6% in northern regions, but Ken was down 2%. Everybody else was down 1%, except Japan. So there, Bawumia is dominant.
Right.
In the Volta region, Bawumia went up 1%, but Ken went up 20%.
20%?
Yes.
Wow. I really want to have data to why Ken is moving so high in the Volta region. But you earlier explained it though, but I really wish we can still do some more.
A quick response to that is that those who were not disclosing in Volta region was 22% in October. It is down to 3%. So they have moved from undisclosed to Kennedy by 20 points.
Wow. That's quite interesting. Mr. Ibrahim, we have to leave it here, and thank you very much for these key things. I'm sure we would find some few things relating to this very latest research, and we'll knock at your doors again. I just flashed something here. That's races stroke gender, the male and female, and those styles. If you can share some few light on this part for
me.
No,
what we did was to look at what we call favorability rating among men and among women. Among men, Bawumia leads 9 points, but among women, he leads by just 8 points. Now, in terms of who would you vote for by gender, Bawumia is still leading by 44% among men, but among female, it's just 38%.
Wow, quite interesting. Mr. Mussa Dankwah, I appreciate your time so much. Thank you very much. And God bless you for spending this time with us today.
It's my pleasure.
Viewers, we're going for a quick breather. When I come back, I'm in session with Mr. Ibrahim and the CEO for NSG News TV, Mr. Eamn Liquid, who would also be joining us. He's the host of Hot Seat, and we have very important topics to discuss in some few minutes. We'll be done with it. Please stay with me. Just going for a breather. When I return, the story about the IGP who has been given some nod for the next 2 years by His Excellency the President, and it will be a subject for discussion. Please stay with me. I'll be right back.
You know, if you look at the last election, some were in complete shock
of the results.
Yes. While we were telling them 6 months before that
yes. So you are a traitor or what? I don't know.
The last person who will be a traitor in this country will be me. I'm very patriotic.
It is alleged that NDC is sponsoring you to do their dirty work. Let me put it that way. That's my word, dirty work, to discredit the advances of the MPP. You've been drawn into partisan politics. How do you come out of this one?
One, I have not been contracted, required to do anything for NDC against any entity in this country. Absolutely not. I don't belong to the NDC. I don't belong to the MPP. I don't have political party affiliation with any other party. No. Now look, where we are in Hacho now. I remember when I was going to write the O-levels, I didn't have money to pay for the fees. So I had to carry labor, do by day labor. Here. We're one of those who started building houses in this area as a laborer. You have to even go and carry the cement from afar because there were no buildings to store them in. This would be the shock. We were branded as mad people. But the numbers we were banding around was in excess of a 2.something million gap. We have to realize that the country, Ghana, has changed profoundly, even from 2016 levels.
I think it wasn't Ghana government funded.
No, it wasn't Ghana government funded. No, on your own you struggle, and then you go to Denmark. I remember when I arrived in Frankfurt on my way to Denmark, I had only $500 in my pocket, and that was to pay for your accommodation, pay for your feeding, pay for everything.
This is NSG News TV live on YouTube. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is 26th November 2026. I must say 2025. And it's a special one from here at our Mahia Studios, wherever you are watching us from. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. And that was Mr. Mussa Dankwah. I still have Mr. Irbad Ibrahim, security expert, social development and policy analyst on the line. Mr. Irbad Ibrahim, please talk to me about the appointment of the IGP or the extension of the IGP's appointment to a furtherance of 2 years. He was supposed to go on retirement this December. The president says, with respect or in consultation with the Council of Elders, they say there should be some extension. What are your opinions on this? Is this going to dampen morale or lift up morale?
When you look at the portrait of the 1992 Constitution, the president, as head of the executive arm of government, is vested with the power to appoint and disappoint. So every single appointee, works at the pleasure of His Excellency the President. And if the President feels like in the past 10 or 11 months, the performance of maybe 8 or 9 months, and the performance of the current IGP has been stellar, and he feels like he can continue to work with him for 2 more years, and that is the complete preserve of His Excellency the President. It brings to the fore the discussion that do people really have to hang their boots when they can still serve. In various security agencies around the world, there is always a reserve. So the reserve can be called upon to beef up the numbers. But beyond numbers, you are talking about accumulated expertise, you are talking about experience over time and all that. And Yohono has moved around. COP Yohono has moved around. When it comes to electoral security, he's one of the best commanders we had. He headed the Police Intelligence Unit, PI. He's moved around the country as regional commander here and there. So to have succeeded Dampari, he has also come with his own, pair of, fresh sleeves, so to speak, a pair of fresh hands. He has come up with some initiatives. What was quite a surprise and was a revelation that marked the termination of COP Dampari. But I believe only time will tell why that happened. But Yohono has come with his own style. He's media shy. He's not in front of the cameras all the time. Quite a market departure from the modus operandi of his predecessor, who was a friend to the press. He was engaging media people all the time. This one is camera shy. But I believe that the results on the ground after the additional 2 years, how we compare the performance of the past 5, 7, 10 or so IGPs we have seen in recent times. And I would say, Senior Kofi Asante, when you take the positives, there's some positives we have seen in the past few months. Yohono has been at the helm of affairs. Armed robbery is not like before. Cases of armed robbery are not too rampant. You remember the days boys would tail or trail bullion vans and the driver.
Mr. Bawumia Ibrahim, you would have to adjust a little bit for me. Your line is getting a little bit bad. If you can do that for me. Let me go on the other Zoom line and welcome Mr. Eamn Liquid. Eamn, good evening. I don't know what is this over there. I think it's still evening. Good evening and welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Grateful, I can hear you loud and clear. I was just going to ask about the performance of IGP Tete Yohono. Have we been able to assess his performance as expert in this industry very well for the president to give him the nod for another 2 years after I think he was sworn into office? And those are the videos you can see over there. My producers are showing you. That was his swearing in around March this year. So after March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. And here we are in November. After how many? About 8 months. Have we been able to assess his performance? And if you are to assess his performance, Mr. Ibrahim, I want to begin with you. If you are there and you can hear me, what percentage are you looking at giving him by way of performance? I'll come to you, Eamn.
Okay, so in terms of armed robbery cases, attacks on bullion vans, they are almost reduced to a zilch. We don't hear of such cases any longer. And again, Kofi Asante, the flaunting of ill-gotten wealth had become commonplace in Ghana. People were flaunting expensive cars on social media, mansions built over a short period of time. And this mountains taking over has really strengthened the interagency collaboration with Yoko, FIC, and others. And the police is at the forefront of some of the arrests. Some game boys have been extradited to the United States to face the full rigors of the law. So that has brought some moral sanity on the streets of Accra and other major cities like Kumasi and Tamale. So he has understanding what Interpol does, understanding extradition treaties between Ghana and the United States especially. We've seen some swoops take away some of these guys who are accused of being scammers. That was doing a great deal of damage to Ghana's reputation internationally. and driving away foreign investors and all that. So I would take the box on that as well and give him a tap on the back. And then again, he has decentralized police communication. At first, the shining star we saw was only the IGP. You wouldn't hear of regional commanders, divisional commanders, and district commanders. Everything was centralized. A statement had to come from Accra to give updates on ongoing operations and all that. But today, the various districts, the various divisions, the various regions are able to directly interact with the people. One unique thing about policing is this. I remember when I went to resolve an ethnic issue in the Ashanti region when Kofi Boachu was the regional commander. I met him at the airport and gave him the initiative I was to do in the region. The commander told me that all the laurels and credentials were going to the regional commander, but those at the divisional and district level were those really doing the work. So sometimes that recognition for those low-level and mid-tier police commanders, through the press conferences they can call themselves, updates they can give the local communities and all that. It goes a long way to enhance their resume so that they go up the ranks. One thing that was complained bitterly about was that there were serious anomalies with promotions in the time of the former IGP. People who were due for promotion were lobbying us actually. Somebody would lobby you that I'm due for promotion, nothing is happening. Can you talk to somebody? And so I believe that on the outside, the optics can look good. But what is more important is that talking of the people who are in the trenches. As we speak tonight, some people will go out on highway patrol. There's a 50-50 chance will come and people will die. They and their commanders need to get the recognition they deserve. Therefore, decentralizing police communication has done a great deal of service to those at the lower level who are sacrificing for the republic, which I believe is positive in terms of the assessments we give this. Where he has failed, or where I would say we have collectively failed, is that we've not been able to tackle the other ethnic crises. So first,
Mr. Bad, you have to take your time and say that one again. We have not been able to tackle what?
Chieftaincy and ethnic related violence. First, it was only Boko, but today you can count many areas that were virgin and alien to ethnic disturbance. And look at Peru, for example. An Omahinic taking of the party. What has become of us? What is our strategy to tackle? And I think the solution still rests in how we tackle Boko. Politicians have been dilly-dallying with the Boko issue, and that is emboldening people in other areas to carry out these forms of ethnic violence. So we've not been decisive in Boko, we've not been strategic. This IGP, when he was a newly minted IGP, went to the palace of one of the feuding factions in Boko, and he was literally pleading that if the boys laid down their arms, they would be, integrated into state security, which for some people was quite an apology of an IGP to have said that.
All right. Mr. Ibrahim, I want to come back to you pretty shortly. I don't know, I'm getting a feedback in the studio. I don't know if somebody's set is really on and then the volume is quite high. I'm getting a little bit feedback here. Please, if you can check that for me. I want to come back to you, Mr. Ibrahim, on his performance relating to election, because within this year, we've held about 3 elections, 2 bar election and 1 continuing election here in Accra. I think we had Tamale Central, and also Akwetiaba election. His performance, you would say, would be hot. Also, his performance relating to mining, supporting security with respect to mining in our country, Ghana. And let me go to my boss, Eamn Liquid, to pick your opinion, Mr. Eamn Liquid, your opinion on the appointment or the appointment extension of appointment by the president for the IGP to work some 2 years more, even though he was due for retirement December this year.
Thank you, Kofi Asante, for inviting me to your most beautiful show with all the breakdowns. And yes, and Irbad, thank you for your contribution. I beg to differ a bit. I felt like that was more institutionalized a response, much more than the views of the people. What does the people feel? How do we feel about the fact that there's no consistency in how people are appointed and how their services are structured and extended? That's the only point. In that some were forced to go on, proceed on leave, even when they have so much time, with no justifiable or questions raised on their performance per se. Some were forced out of office. So, Kwesi challenge the fact that IGP has not demonstrated his position as an IGP for him to get an extension. I kind of tend to agree, of course, but all the points Irbad has cited, they are justified. But the question is, what is the consistency in the way our governments behave? Because these positions, yes, they are part of the executive arm's decision as to who does what, but it's becoming more of a partisan driven who should be sitting where. Because at the time of Dr. Dankwah, applauding him for his performance. Police visibility has been everywhere. I was in Accra, police visibility has gone down. Normally, when I'm driving down towards the airport, you see motorbikes, you see police forces everywhere. They even stopped me on a number of occasions, but not anymore. Driving down to Volta regions, places where police used to stay and check, they were not there. So I beg to differ, but I'm not saying what Irbad is saying is not true. But as to the views of us, the people, I'm here speaking today as the people, not from any institution, how we feel that these, our elected individuals, they beg for our service and they choose to do what they want to do. And that's how we feel. This extension, that's how it feels, that I have the power to do whatever I want to do. As to whether
Constitution grants him that permission to be able to do that, it is not unlawful at all.
No, I'm not saying it's unlawful. They pick and choose as to when and how they apply this is what I'm putting into question. I'm not saying he has done anything wrong. Some were forced to go on leave. How do we've seen Auditor General, Council General, all these people, even Dankwah himself in his time of service was not like that to go because the boss said he should go. That's all I'm saying. Because if you check now online and ask questions, Ghanaians are quite kind of skeptical about what is it, because 8 months or more into service, and then we said that there is enough data to support the fact that his performance is top-notch for extension. That's all I'm calling to question as a country person. But as to what Irbad said, yes, all is spot on, all the points, especially being a security personnel, privileged to information. He's not making comments out of the blues. They are fact-based, but I'm only speaking from country point of view, people point of view. That's my first response.
Is the host of Court Sit here at NSG News, and his name is Eamn Liquid. And we'll go back to Irbad Ibrahim. But I wanted to point something to you, Eamn. Now, police visibility is truly on, probably because of the Christmas. So when you left to the UK, they have upped their game relating to the Christmas celebration. I'm sure you'll come down for Christmas, so when you come, you will see police visibility quite up.
On the occasion that I'm comparing, of course, as Christmas gets closer, I've seen even on your own program where you've shown that the police are getting ready and letting those visiting Ghana to say, look, security is up top notch, you're safe. That's fine, that's okay. But on every other day issue is what I'm saying. Should it be only Christmas for us to have police visibility? Hello? That's just my question, because the comparison that I was having, we went to Koforidua to make an interview there. Whilst there, driving just along an ordinary road, the police stopped us and checked our car. I was sitting at the back and they asked me to roll down, and then they actually even explained to us why, that was during Dankwah's time, why we should be relaxed when they stop us, because sometimes we don't know what they are looking for. But there's a reason that she explained to say, look, this man is sitting at the back, tinted glasses. If he's held at gunpoint, you two at the front can't say anything. But in attempt to roll down the glasses, we may know that he's under stress. So when we stop you to make checks, it's not money we are looking for. And truly, they didn't ask for any money. They just did their checks and just advised us to say, when we stop you and we ask you to roll down, please roll down so we can look, we know what we are looking for. And it's for your own safety. So that was just on an ordinary day, not Christmas. But thank IGP for beefing up security as internationals and intercontinentals are visiting Ghana, because we want Ghana to be the destination.
Right.
Because Ghana is a beautiful country.
Right, thank you very much. And Mr. Ibrahim, this is very heavy on my radar today, and I want to get back to you on what you think Mr. IGP's performance would be in your box relating to election policing, election and policing mining. Let me not talk too much. Take me through what you think his performance is.
I agree with about Eamn about the experience he had, and I want to use this opportunity to apologize for my unavailability when I was in town. I hope to meet him in person in his next visit, but apologies, sir.
You're welcome. I know you're a busy man. It's okay. We will make it. It will happen. We will meet. We'll have a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your great work.
You're welcome. I think every IGP comes with his own idiosyncratic initiatives. Visibility was largely the initiative of former IGP Mohammed Ahmed Al-Hassan, who had served with the United Nations at some point. And it's understandable. When he was IGP in Mohammed's first term, a little over a decade ago, that was just around the time Kenya had been attacked. Ghana had lost a Council of State member, Professor Wono. And later in life, we had to travel to Kenya to help them with their counterterrorism efforts. So at that time, when you went to the Accra Mall, you would see some police visibility. You would see police officers and their pickups at major intersections and traffic lights, Kawukudi and other places. Whether subsequent IGPs were able to follow through on that, of course, Boko Haram became a big thing, Al-Shabaab a big thing, Burkina Faso has become a big thing and all that. But all this while, since Mohammed Ahmed Al-Hassan left, not a single explosive has gone off in the name of a terrorist attack against the Republic of Ghana. I had privileged information from the then National Security Advisor to the President at that time that 4- and 5-star hotels in Accra and elsewhere were given some enhanced, directives to have scanners and all that, things that we didn't take too seriously before the 2013 attack at the Westgate Mall in Nairobi, which we visited later. I think it was the baby of Mohammed Ahmed Al-Hassan to deter crime by making police officers ubiquitous all across the capital, especially Accra. Then Dankwah came with the idea of motorbike patrols. And I'm sure, Kofi Asante, you saw some of those. And there would be about 2,000 motor bikes with police officers just announcing their presence on the major streets of Accra. As to why the current IGP has cut back on police visibility, I don't know whether it's a strategic decision he has made or it's as a result of the paucity of logistics. Because now, Kofi Asante, maybe drive from Amrahia to downtown, I'm sure you will meet fewer police checkpoints. Police checkpoints are used to know in certain spots. They are no longer there. So I don't know whether we are stretched thin. Ghana is dealing with a lot of, ethnic issues here and there. Is it that we are stretched thin and therefore Accra, the center, the capital, doesn't have enough police numbers to continue the legacy of police visibility to detect crime? One of the things that will mark this IGP down is the rampant, spate of attacks by motorbike riders. Pedestrians are reckless abandon their mobile phones that works their way, they get injured when they resist and all that. And most of Accra is dark at night. Most of Accra is dark at night. So will you say that is the responsibility of the regional minister or the municipal assemblies? That is the prescription of those in charge of internal security. Many places are dark, and darkness provides an opportunity for people to commit crime. So I agree perfectly with our boss that police visibility can be better. The festive season provides an opportunity to do a redemption. But beyond December, I believe that it is important for this current IGP to enhance police visibility, which is a deficiency. But on electoral successes, he was in charge of operations in the past 2 or 3 elections. And in very difficult times, when you thought maybe the police would skew their operations in favor of one political party or another, he stood his ground. And people were arrested, ballot boxes that were stashed away with rigging in mind, the police, regardless of that was in power. And when Mahama lost the election in 2016, Yohonu was the director of election, actually, for the Ghana Police Service. And then he made sure the transition was smooth. And we've seen his performance in recent by-elections, and we'll see in the next month or so in Pandai, in the northern part of the country. So I don't know whether these were the considerations the president had before taking a decision on this extension of appointments. But I believe that as we travel through the next 2 years with him, the deficiencies that are fractures in the wall will be exploited, like the lack of visibility of the police, as indicated by our boss, things will trumpet going forward.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. Is it the police council or the national council of elders that advises the the president on choosing the IGP? Which national organization does that?
On appointment, the security agency spawn their candidates, so you could be promoted based upon an advice from the police council, and after that, the earnings lies upon the executive. Someone said in the past, council of state members are like errand boys and girls. Well, you may choose to differ, but there is so much power in the bosom of the president. The president can do everything minus creating a human being in Ghana's constitution. So anything can happen, sir.
Mr. Abe, let me come to you quickly on our next subject. Do you think John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency the President of the Republic, has taken Ghanaians for a ride. And when you have lost your defense and environmental science and technology minister, and you are not itching to a point, it's not any urgent. There's not any urgency to it, and he tells us we should go celebrate Christmas and the New Year. When we come back in 2026, he would appoint. Is it because there is no urgency in the defense ministry and the one who is acting with the finance minister is acting well, or the environment, science and technology plus innovation ministry is also being acted well? Do you find there's a sense of urgency in President John Dramani Mahama's voice when he said, I'll do the appointment next year?
I think he wants to save the government person some money. Right. I would be careful to say that he has taken them for a ride. Remember, he's in a position where informations are available to him. I will assume that there should be an information or intel that supports that decision to appoint later in next year. Perhaps he's trusting that the various arms that function under these departments, the heads are up to scratch and will discharge with or without a minister. We are the people who have been complaining about the number of ministers we have. So if the president has taken an initiative to hold back to see how these various arms will function without an immediate minister, I would think we should give him the benefit of the doubt that it is not a taking for a ride, but intel-based, it should be a good decision. Having said that, we as a country people, we have a responsibility to police ourselves. It's not only when there's a minister in place that we should do what needs done, ideally. So for me, I'm careful to say that he has taken us for a ride with respect to this decision.
All right. Mr. Ibrahim, let me come to you. He says he will do the appointment, but next year, those who are speculating, they should stop. Go enjoy Christmas and New Year. Is he taking us for a ride?
To speak on this is Irbad. That's his field. He's a security think tank, so he can tell us. I'll drop the ball on him to say something.
From an operational point of view, I can only cringe at the idea that this vacancy has not created a challenge. You remember what happened recently during the body selection for the recruitment aspirants or applicants at LWAC. 6 young innocent lives were lost. Some people attributed that to lack of leadership at the top because the army answers to the defense minister, which defense minister we didn't have at the time that stampede or disaster happened. His deputy, Honorable Bujajemfi, is someone I know, someone I've sat on a panel with. Has he learned the ropes to be able to fill the substantive position of defense minister? I hear other names bandied around. My schoolmate, Honorable Dr. Zaneto, we did security studies at Kofi Asante around the same time. She did security, gender and security. She spoke on behalf of her, group, and I spoke on behalf of the conflict, peace, and security, group. We went to school at the same time, and when we were brought together at the Defense Ministry, and to help with convincing Ghanaians to spend more on Ghana's defense, as a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Defense and the Interior, she sat just close to me. I may share the picture with you, Kofi Asante, later. So she's somebody I have
correctly. If you can help me, please help me. You mentioned Bro Jemfi and also Zanato. The third one you mentioned is who?
I've not mentioned anybody. These are the 2 names I've heard.
Okay. Right.
For me, both would be good choices for the president. because Dr. Zaneto has conducted herself quite well since she went to Parliament. And again, just as the nation is going to bury her mother in the next few days, could it be a hint from the president that the timing is wrong for him to announce her while her mother is being interred in the next few days? So does he want the funeral to be done in that state so that in January 2026 he announces an in honor of the Rawlinses? Her father had a military background, and I believe even though that must have informed her decision to pursue security studies much later in life, I believe she grew up during the AFRC and PNDC era, and then through to the democratic era of the NDC, and she saw security and military and defense decisions being taken by her father. There are many ways people accumulate experience, and it could be by observation. So if the president feels she can duly represent her father and honor the Rawlinses by occupying a position where her father served before he carried out a coup and later became a democratically elected, it serves a certain legacy for the Rawlinses. So her name being bandied around for me is in positive light, but the boogeyman is the president. The buck stops with him. He says, hold on, I'll do the appointment sometime next year. He hasn't given a specific date. And I would also want to say that considering how Dr. Bawumia was with Mahama, maybe emotionally Ghanaians should give him a little more time. You know, it's customary of Ghanaians to brag our feet in replacing people we hold dear. It's just customary. That's why when you lose your star employee, you would want to leave the position for some time. Some of our mothers lost their fathers when they were only 40 or 42, and some would live for 3 more decades or 4 more decades without replacing our deceased fathers. It's customary of Ghanaians that let's show some more sympathy with the loved ones we have lost without replacing them too fast. Is that an emotional consideration? I can't tell. But when you put strategy and emotions together, I think I would tread on the side of caution that Ghanaians shouldn't rush the president into replacing these 2 ministers he held like his sons. He held so dear, especially Dr. Bawumia, until he's able to want to move on from that great loss.
Right there. All right. So this is what I'll be doing. I've run out of time. I have 3 subjects to.
Sorry, let me jump in a bit. I picked a couple of things that Irbad said, and I want to comment on that from a country and people point. The subject of the minister's absence and being people querying that to the incident at Elwag, I tend to disagree. What would the minister do to stop that? He would have been in a strategic meeting. Once the military has a regime, they have a process. Once they have a budget, recruitment will go on. It's like a clock machine. It will run. The minister will not be actively involved in making that decision. It's an institution activity. The question is, what were the lapses that resulted into this? So if any is sitting somewhere to question the fact that the absence of the defense minister could be a contributing factor, I strongly disagree. It shouldn't be that. If anything, I thought we should be looking at the military to say, what is it that you have not done for this to result into this? Because I think we are becoming people that we lean towards questioning the obvious and refusing to drill down on the basics of why certain things have become. So if there are people within our country from different institutions questioning the absence of Minister of Defense being the reason for the event, I beg to differ, no. Secondly, we as a people, we have a behavior of rushing too much. We rush too much. You've been asked to come to a place. You have been asked to join a queue. Join the queue. I'm sorry we lost lives, but we have to become people that are diligent. with distinction and function in a certain way. Why were we rushing? If you rush in, does it mean that you become a military officer tomorrow? No. So the absence of the defense minister is not the reason for the event. I beg to differ. And on the subject of Dr. Zenato, being likened to the fact that the Rollins's legacy and stuff, somebody's going to call it, that would be discriminatory. Does it mean that if we have somebody else who is capable, able to function as a defense minister, it will be given to her? And actually, the more it is likened to the father's position and functions in the past, the more it beclouds her ability. I, for one, I think she can do the job as a person by her own credentials. But the Rollins legacy and the father's performance being likened to it beclouds, it seems to suggest that it's just like a legacy appointment. Thank you.
All right. That's quite a forceful one over there. Thank you very much. I have run out of time, like I was saying early on, and now I have 3 good topics to treat. That's what I would do, Mr. Ibrahim and Mr. Eamn Liquid. The Wesley Girls story and the OSP quest for the OSP and the EC to be removed, and also the re-election as pronounced by the Tamale Central High Court for Pandai re-election. You can choose any of these 3 topics and address them accordingly. Then we can wrap up for today, sir.
I choose Wesley Girls.
Wesley Girls. Mr. Irbad, which one do you choose?
But I beg to, why do you put us in a position to choose? No, I think Wesley Girls, both of us need to contribute to it. I'm not arguing. That is a subject we must all contribute to because it affects us, especially. I'm sure. I'm not taking your program over, but I just thought Irbad is in position to speak as far as the Muslim community is concerned, and I believe I'm in position to also speak from the general public view and Christian point of view as to what is or what is not. So that one, we will beg you, both of us needs to comment on this one.
I agree with Eamn. Eamn, I presented 2 papers to an ECOWAS conference about a month ago.
All right. And thank you very much. Now I can hear. All right, so this is what we do, like my boss rightly mentioned. So the 2 of us will do a quick one on the Wesley Girls issue. Then we can select from the remaining 2. Then we can wrap up. That is the OSP and also the Pandai re-election. So let me begin with you, Mr. Ibrahim. Please help me understand why, as a Christian community, I should open my school and accept Muslims in the school, but still leave my core values for Muslims. The Christian Council and the mission schools are not happy at all. Today, they released a statement. I've read it on the show today. What's your opinion on what's happening? It's in court, I know.
I have dealt with almost everybody involved. I speak at the office of the National Chief Imam on the 31st of December.
Mr. Ibrahim, I can't hear you.
I can hear you loud and clear. Is it from here?
Mr. Ibrahim, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you.
Yes, I can.
Yes, it's better. I can hear you now. Please continue, please. Start again and continue, please.
I have dealt with almost everybody involved in this issue. The office of the National Chief Imam, I'm engaged with the office. I speak at the office on the 31st of most years in the past 3, 4, or 5 years. I remember when I was doing the peace campaign in Takoradi, the National Chief Imam was there. I traveled there to speak about peaceful elections. I know him, he knows me. I really appreciate the work he has done in engendering interfaith dialogue. And then I deal with the Christian Council. Dr. Cyril Fayoshe, the General Secretary of the Christian Council, has been a partner. He's been to our office before. He's been a partner in some of the events we did with the Office of the Attorney General. I've spoken at events where he attended. We've put him on a panel before. So Ghana is a model of interfaith or Muslim-Christian harmony for many nations of the world. And about a month ago, Kofi Asante, I don't know if I told you, ECOWAS did a conference that presented two papers on anti-terrorist financing and money laundering. And one of the papers I presented was on the interfaith, and peaceful coexistence. And during the presentation, I projected a picture of a church and a mosque occupying the same space, which is a beautiful spectacle dotted across the country. When churches are backed or share a wall with a mosque, and the church can come into the mosque premises to park their cars, and the mosque can also roll our mats into the church premises or the compound to pray. How beautiful. Wow. I think we didn't allow anything to drive a wedge between Muslims and Christians in this country. All I will call for is that we should be considerate. Historically, we have tolerated each other as two faiths. Our leaders have shown the example. The chief imam, then we have the bishops and then the reverends. They do things with the national chief imam, and it's a beautiful spectacle. And when the chief imam celebrated his 100th anniversary, he celebrated it with a Christian friend, one of the reverend, Catholic, priests. He runs the parish at Christ the King. And so this is who we are. And Kofi Asante, you could have attended a mass and come out this clean and productive later in life. I didn't attend an Islamic mission school. I attended a Catholic mission school, Opokuwari School. I was the head of the Muslim community on campus, and the treatment was lovely. When we had to fast, they would preserve our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and be ready to warm the food for us. And then they gave us a little more time, not to report for prayer at exactly 7, because we had extra prayers to do. So they gave us enough latitude. And so there is an overwhelming number of mission schools that have exhibited goodwill and good faith. And when they are Christian mission schools towards Muslim students, and when they are Muslim mission schools like TI Ahmadiyya towards Christian students. And so let's tread cautiously. This has been escalated to the Supreme Court. It's a good legal exercise so that the Supreme Court can make a pronouncement. But as I've indicated, Christians have excelled in, Islamic mission schools. And we are grateful, so grateful for the mission schools that trained us. And eventually, in a senior year, when they were to adjudge the most disciplined student, and the records are there, I'm not making this up. My own colleagues voted me the most disciplined student. The records are there, Kofi Asante. And so if the situation there was discriminatory, why would you make a Muslim boy the most disciplined student in a Catholic senior high school? That shows how tolerant we are. And I believe that we should continue on this path and then continue to be the shining example for countries like Nigeria, where people can walk into a mosque and shoot and kill people because they don't agree with them on theology, or people can walk into a church and then spray people with bullets because they don't belong to the same faith. I believe Ghana has stood out from the pack, and then this current exercise should not be a confrontational one. It's a test of our laws. And when the Supreme Court makes a pronouncement, I believe that we should be able to implement so that there will be religious harmony, religious peaceful coexistence, so that these young ones we are training to be leaders of the future, they will turn into the kind of tolerant leaders that would not discriminate based on ethnicity, faith, color of skin, language, or any of those differences we are born with naturally.
Excellent over there. Thank you very much. And Mr. Eamn Liquid, please let me take your quick remarks on this Wesley Girls issue.
Well, I will take it this way. Now, Wesley Girls is a religious or a Catholic setup. Okay. Now, I will attribute this to what happens when you go to Muslim dominant countries, even on holiday, and you have to visit, even though they are a bit lenient with women being in the country, but you have to dress decently, which is just common sense. But when you're going to any of their religious institutions, the mosques of visit, where they allow tourists to visit, you must put on if you don't have the hijab, you must put on some sort of scarf to cover your head. It's a requirement. Now, we have a lot of schools in Ghana, and we have mission-based schools, as Irbad was saying. Now, if you're coming to my home and you want to play to my rules, and then after a while you said, no, you don't want to play to my rules, then you shouldn't be, I may sound a bit drastic, but then you shouldn't be with me. You have to move on. Now, these individuals went to that school knowing very well that this is the values of this place. That's why I said I'm going to sound a bit drastic. I agree to the religious harmony. One of the questions I ask is, all these religions that have been brought to, let me use the word brought to Africa, tends to divide us. Before they came, how were we?
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm not a Christian, but we keep fighting these religious fights, and that's one of the common fights to the point of sharing blood. My question is, was these things, these religions brought to us so that we will be like this? There's nothing wrong if the school can make a provision to accommodate, as Irbad was saying, what happened in other schools. My school, I went to Accra Academy. Yes, I mean, one of my schoolmates, my school son, he's from North, he's a Muslim. And we were together. But what I'm trying to say is that we also have to be tolerant of the fact that this institution has values that they will not back down on. Are we able to accommodate? If not, then let's find a different place rather than to say they must shift the goalposts for us. That means they should deny themselves how they live. That's how I'm going to come from. But the religious harmony, that one, I agree totally, because the level of fight, blood sharing across our continent, all in the name of these religions, is appalling. Who knows where this thing is going to go to after Supreme Court? We've seen fights up north all over the country because of religion. These religions are meant to put us together, but they divide us more. Even within the Christendom, one denomination doesn't like the other. What is the matter with us? Was it brought so that we will be like this, hate ourselves, not accommodating? It's annoying and painful when these things happen. So, but if I want to be more rational and come back to the whole subject, the question I'm going to ask is, the lawyer taking the matter to court, what is he trying to achieve? This is my value. This is how I live. You knew this before you came to live with me. Suddenly, you don't want me to eat my plan for 3 days.
Like Irbad said, we are testing the laws. We are testing the laws.
He should test the law all he wants, but me, I'll eat my plan for 3 days. You came to me. It's my house. I eat my plan for 3 days. You knew it before you came.
But you opened the door for me to come in. You opened the door for me to come in. You have receptive. You have accepted me in, at least. You have to give me some space. And I brought you
in, letting you know that I eat a plan for 3 days first thing in the morning. Now you've come and said that, oh, hey, a plan for 3 days is not allowed in the morning. It's not going to happen. Do you understand what we are? So where is the discrimination? It's my fault to let you in. Now you are telling me discrimination is where the people are not allowed to eat after the breakfast. Okay. Now they said whatever it is that they are doing to them, let's delve into it. Are they molesting them? Are they doing things that are inhuman to them?
But I must say, Mr. Eamn Liquid, there are secondary schools here in this country where they have identified some areas, built mosque and they have a Christian fellowship, also churches over there. So mosque and churches on the same campus. Some are here in Accra, some are there in Kumasi.
Yes, we have schools like that's exactly what I'm saying. We have schools like that, and we have schools that are predominantly or strictly just mission schools for what they believe in. Let's not cross the lines. It's just like going to Lolubi Seminary, where it used to be where they trained fathers, or when you go through that place, the possibility of you becoming a reverend father is almost 90 or 100% high. And then you've gone there knowing that that is the nature of that school. And now you're saying that we should now realign to, but there's provision for you to be somewhere else. But I'm not saying that, hey, it couldn't be done. But if they are saying this is our values, we knew the values before you came in. Don't stop my plan for 3D. That's all I'm trying to say.
Thank you very much. I'm tempted to wrap up the show for today, but maybe 2 minutes each on each subject
I will
you
invite
choose.
Ibrahim to come and eat a plan for 3D with me.
Justice has been cooking some years, so we've been eating some. Mr. Ibrahim, I have 2 subjects so we can call it an evening, a Wednesday evening. So please.
Ibrahim, I was inviting you to apply for 3D.
Amazing. And please, can you read the inscription on this?
Yes.
Out of appreciation for need for interfaith appreciation, I enrolled to do second master's in ministry with the Trinity Theological Seminary. That is me.
Mr. Ibrahim, unfortunately, your line is it better? Is it better?
Did you
okay.
were
Please,
able
to
see that?
Yes, 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 it's better now. Yes, it's.
Hello, Kofi, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Ibrahim, I can hear you clear now. Please continue.
Can you read the card? Can you see it?
Yes, I think that's you on the card.
Yes. And that's Trinity Theological Seminary.
Yes.
Yes. I enrolled, surprisingly, Mr. Eamn, I enrolled to do a second master's in ministry. I'm a Muslim. I speak Arabic. I've worked with Palestinian ambassadors. I've, done a lot of things. I speak fluent Arabic. I can read the Quran. I've done a lot of things. But I went to enroll, and I was the only Muslim in my class. Reverend Ajinasari's son was my course mate at some point, and the professors kept asking me, what was a Muslim guy doing in a Christian theological school? And then I told them I had come there so that I would further appreciate the beliefs of my colleagues. What we have done in this country is this. We do things for the optics. Imams and pastors come together. But in Sunday schools, what do we teach the kids? In the madrasas or makarantas, what do we teach the Muslim kids about Christians? And what do we teach Christian kids about Muslims? You'll find out that we feed the kids venom. And a move similar to what I have taken, or I took, even though I didn't finish the course, was meant to send a message that we should go beyond imams and pastors coming to take pictures. There should be a time a Christian can confidently open the Quran, just read it so that he can appreciate the beliefs of his Muslim neighbor, so they can coexist in peace. I have copies, I have a Bible. If you give me even 30 seconds, I can put my Bible right now. Wow. And I didn't only buy the Bible that contains the New Testament, and I made sure I would get a Bible that contains even the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha, the non-canonized books. Why? Does reading the Bible mean I don't believe in Islam? Certainly not. But it would give me an appreciation of what Kofi believes, what Ian believes, so that I will appreciate the world from your perspective. Not to blow my own horns. In this house, I organize dinner every Saturday. Just past this Saturday, it was the former Minister for Information that came and spoke to us. And I invite many people to come and speak to us. We break bread together with friends. And I invite my Christian neighbors. I tell them,
but you are yet to invite me, Mr. Ibrahim.
You're always welcome. This is your second home, Kofi Asante. So my conclusion on this is this, my senior brothers. Let's get to a point where we can freely learn about each other's faith, not for fear of being converted. When a Muslim is listening to Christian preaching, people think that, oh, then he will abandon his faith and be a Christian, and vice versa. No, but I can listen to you just to appreciate your beliefs. I sat in a Bible class, not because I wanted to leave Islam, just so I would appreciate the beliefs of my fellow citizens, so I can coexist peacefully with them. And so this Wesley Girls issue, as our boss has indicated, is a delicate issue, but it's a fruitful exercise. And so that eventually the mission schools who are on government subsistence, TI Amas, even though built on Islamic values, is on government subsistence. It means Muslim churches are like pay taxes that are used to run the school, even though it's a mission school. Opokuari School, Holy Child, Wesley Girls, they are all on government subsistence. So maybe the founding fathers had certain views of the outlook of these mission schools, but Ghana has evolved, and I think our boss indicated that, and no, I think Mussa Dankwah indicated that things have changed over the decades. And so I believe that this shouldn't drive a wedge between us. It should be a legal exercise that will engender religious, peaceful coexistence and an appreciation of one another's faith.
That's an excellent one. And you got me melted. You got me so melted with your study of theology, even though you didn't complete that course. I'm so elated with that so much. Thank you very much. Eamn, you wanted to say something?
Yes. You see, Irbad, there are Christians like yourself who have cross-studied both religions, and there are Christians that will not. Likewise, there are Muslims like that. What I'm trying to say is that we should understand that that's what makes us people. Some are tolerant, some are not. The fact that they are not tolerant doesn't mean that they are dangerous to the other people. We know there are people that they have been weaponized in their belief to function negatively. That is there as well. But there are Christians who will not cross, and there are Muslims that will not cross. So let's assume that Wesley Girls is one of those institutions that will not cross. But we have institutions that will allow the cross and the cross studies. Now, if you're going to the seminary or the theological institution to study, somebody will argue with you and say, that's choice. That's you desiring to understand so you can help people within your community what it is you understood from them. I hear people in Muslim-based individuals who say, look, in Islam, it is said when you go to a town and you don't know anybody, go and look for a Christian. I've not read it, but someone was saying it is in the Quran like that. Seek a Christian home and ask for refuge or shelter for the night. So there's some things that, as to why we have become like this, I don't know. But all I want to say is that I applaud you for your desire to want to know what goes on both sides. But the fact still remains that there are people who will just stick with what they want to know, which is what they believe. And if Wesley Girls, being a Christian-based school, is one of such, let's leave them.
At least they are not breaking, they are not killing anybody or anything. They just want to exercise their own belief only. Now, here we go. Now, if we want to say that, oh, okay, these things are going on, therefore, a government subsidizes this institution. If government is not subsidizing Muslim mission schools, then we say that is discrimination. But if government is subsidizing both Muslim-based institutions and Christian mission-based institutions, no discrimination here. But on the belief subject, there will be some who will just say, look, what we want to do here is about, because we need core individuals that will champion what we believe. And I think that might be something happening, but maybe I'm wrong.
Thank you, Eamn. Eamn, I hope you can see a copy of my Bible, right?
I'll come to Bible studies with you.
So I have both a copy of the Bible and a copy of the Quran.
Yeah, no, beautiful.
So,
I applaud you for that. What I want to say is that sometimes these things, for instance, I'm not blaming who is going to exercise these legal proceedings. It's better to go to the court than to go fighting, which is fine. But sometimes our leaders are the ones that draw the divisions more. Like you said, we were in school. We don't know who is what. The Muslims wake up and go and pray, and then we go to what. But once leaders begin to draw this line, it makes the problem. So, but hey, he's entitled to a fair trial. I wish him well.
Thank you so much, Sidian. Looks like we lost.
That when I return, gentlemen, please stay with me. When I return, we'll wrap the show up. I'm happy with your Quran and your Bible. Please stay with me. When we come back, just 5 minutes, we'll wrap up. Please stay. Hi there. What number is this? 3, right? All right. It's time for NSG News. Welcome. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah. And here at NSG News, you'll get serious documentary to watch, news, reviews, views, and what have you. Because we have Pulse of the Week and also exclusive on the hot seat. On NSG News, we say news with integrity. Always a pleasure to have you back. Thank you very much. This is Pulse of the Week, 26th of November 2025. It's a Wednesday edition of Pulse of the Week here on NSG News TV. We are streaming live on YouTube, and this is NSG News, news with integrity. Thank you very much. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and I have the two gentlemen on the line. Early on, you heard Mr. Mussa Dankwah in his pools, and now we have a media personality and CEO of NSG News, Mr. Eamn Liquid, also the host of Hot Sets here on NSG News. Mr. Ibrahim, Ibrahim's security expert, also social development and policy analyst, and we've been having discussion relating to the extension of the appointment of the IGP by the president, and also the appointment of Defense and Environmental Science and Environment, Innovation and Technology Minister. The president says he will do that next year, and we've been analyzing the Wesley Girls issue. We're wrapping up this evening on two very major important issues. One has to do with the quest or the petition by about 15 petitioners or so, if my memory serves me right, who have petitioned the President of the Republic to remove two people, the EC commissioners and also the OSP. Apparently there was a demonstration in this country today. It was led by one Reverend Minister or a bishop, and Mr. Martin Pebu, lawyer Martin Pebu, went to help in that regard. And also this week we heard from the Tamale High Court indicating that there should be a rerun of the Pandai about election. The New Patriotic Party is not taking it kindly at all today. They leveled a lot of heated and hot allegations against the judiciary. You know, in the Israel government, they were quick to say, Monko court, go to court, go to court. When NDC took power, now they are not happy with the judiciary. Today's Apenyomaken's press conference wasn't a pleasant one to listen to at all. So it's also on the front burner for us this evening, the rerun of the Bandai Bar election. And he, Matthew Nyindam, had wanted to make a statement today relating to the closure of the budget discussion, but the majority would never allow him. They were describing him as persona non grata. And the Speaker of Parliament is actually indicating that he will be in the hot seat tomorrow to determine or to rule on that very case. Gentlemen, we have these two issues. I don't know which one you want to talk about. We're allowed to talk about one of these two in 2 minutes. Let me start with you, Mr. Eamn. Okay, let me go to Eamn. Eamn Liquid, please, are you there? These two issues, which one do you want to address in 2 minutes?
I don't want to comment on any of them, or I'm joking. Petitions to remove the special prosecutor and the electoral commissioner. What can I say? If there is a legitimate petition, then there so be it. The process must be followed, and it founded. The reasons are justified. Then, but it seems like every time there's a change of government, some out of the nowhere from the blues, petitions begin to pop out for the removal of certain departmental heads, i.e., or institutional heads. The electoral commissioner being one of them. So, is these individuals petitioning partisan individuals, or they are legitimately country people who thinks that the electoral commissioner is not functioning in the interest of country and people? I'm speaking from country point of view. Today, like I said, I'm on the show as a country person, and my views might be a street argument, but I don't care. We are first country people before anything else. So my question is, these petitions, what is the motivation? Because it has become a routine that every time there's a change of government, certain institutions tend to become targets for change. Why? I've not seen the petition, so I can't comment. I just pray and hope that those writing these petitions are not partisan war horses that are trying to do what they think is good for their parties. Rather, they're doing it for country and people. That's all I would say. And I just think that there seems to be a routine now. It has become a cycle that this happens every time there's a change of government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eamn Liquid, and I wish you were just here so I can shake you and say a big thank you to you. I appreciate your time so much. God bless you so much. And that's how Irbad is not on the line, and I presume we've kept him too long, so he's gone. That's fine. And that's our show for today. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah. I want to say a big thank you to Mussa Dankwah, who has been a guest on the show, and also Ibrahim, our second guest on the show. Then our boss himself, executive producer, Mr. Eamn Liquid. Thank you so much. A big thank you to our secretary, Ziba. God bless you so much. And our operations manager, Justice Kluche. A big thank you to MCR and PCR, Kofi Berry, and our boss going Kofi Q. Kofi, Francis Enchi. Mr. Brown was also here to support us in the spirit and in physical. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah. Until we meet again, I say the press is the watchdog of the people, not the mouthpiece of the powerful. I'm leaving you in the hands of our beloved Daddy Lumba. Don't forget on the 30th. Is it on the 30th, Kofi? I think they moved it 1 week ahead, right? So it was on the 6th, they moved it 1 week ahead. So plus 7, that's about on the 13th of December. We'll be having that very funeral over here. And don't forget also, I think on Friday, the Nakunedu Ajiman Rollins goes home. Mrs. Rollins will be here to do this all over again. Kofi title need today, catch me. Bubra. Kofi says Bubra. This one is Daddy Lumba. Title Bubra. Let's enjoy it. See you on Friday. Thank you.
no be a bar, kain in front of my crow. No feeling, no feeling, kain a girl ya one. No pet, no be a bar, kain in front of my crow. No checky, no checky, kain a boy ya one. Beanum penny tintin, tintin, beanum penny jitty, beanum penny, honey, 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 oh, baby. Beanum penny tintin, tintin, beanum penny jitty, oh, see, beanum penny, honey, 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 oh, baby. Your pet, no be a bar, kain sukro. Nyam suku, na soku, kain bunsa kro. Nyope, na mipa, kain sukro. Nyam suku, na soku, kain bunsa kro. Binum si jinsim power, binum si alomo power, binum si abin waha power. Oh, binum si jinsim power, binum si alomo power, binum si abin waha power. Oh, Fashia me down, 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 down. Fashia me, ooh, down, down. Fashia me, ooh, down, down. Hey.